Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. We got to Richard's End at the end of the last episode, so it is time for us to pick a new path, and fortunately, when we paired up with Richard, we had the chance to either go with Laura or Lilith, or Alphonse and Maria. So this time we're going to head with Alphonse and Maria, and that will be the last of the routes on this side, apart from the one that we can't get to. Let's go with Alphonse and Maria. I missed that one yesterday when I was looking at it. That's fine, as long as you deal with Maria. I don't want her bugging me, okay? I don't think she's going to end up annoying you. Let's hope not. No good with the cheery, overly cheery, energetic types. We walked over to Alphonse and Maria, who were peacefully lounging. Though once we got close, Maria seemed to well up with the energy, bouncing in her seat once we sat down. So you'll be joining us for the next game then? That's what we decided. Well, really, you decided it and I just went along. Awesome. I'm sure that whatever we get faced with, we'll handle it with ease. Or we'll die. Well, some of us will die, probably. We don't need that kind of negativity. He's right though, there's no guarantee that all of us will get out of this game. Hell, it's more likely that at least one of us doesn't make it, but that's just the way the game's played. You're both such downers, at least Clyde is somewhat sarcastic whenever he makes a depressing statement. I'm so glad you found a way to put a bow on my depressing statements. See? Like that. When you do it, it's always kind of cute. When you do it that way, it's kind of cute. Don't call me cute. Being bashful's kind of cute too. I just said don't call me cute. Sorry, it's just so easy to tease. See, this is why I knew you'd be great for this group. Now I don't have to deal with the teasing. Oh, you're oh so very welcome, Richard. Actually, now that we're here, I kind of want to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Sure, fire away. I don't consent to this interrogation, not unless I'm being properly compensated. How do you expect me to compensate you here exactly? I'm sure you'll find a way. Maybe an IOU or something. Sure, you get one IOU now. Shut up and let me ask my questions. And people say that I'm grouchy. I'll start with you, Clyde. Okay. Why am I nervous all of a sudden? Why are you here? Why am I here? Yeah, how'd you get involved in the Digits of Eden mess? The Game of Fortune, all of that. From what I can tell, you're not really with the Digits of Eden. This seems to be your first time in the game, so I'm just left to wonder why you're here. Well, I guess it's sort of a chance thing. Chance? Yeah, I saw an advertisement on the internet for a foolproof way to cure a disease. And my mum needed some treatment pretty badly, so I figured I'd look into it. After I did my own research, I talked with a representative and entered into a raffle to get picked for the treatment centre project they do as pro bono work. They said that I needed to bring a partner with me to a specified location. Then we got picked up and, well, the rest is history. Really? You just went along with it? I was desperate, okay? My mum was really sick. I read testimonials on their website that it worked. The Digits of Eden don't have a normal website, do they? Last I checked, I'm pretty sure they don't. Well, it wasn't called the Digits of Eden. It was a pretty shady, dark website that probably wasn't credible at all, but I just had to take a chance. You're lucky. All sorts of shady shit could have happened to you. You could have been kidnapped and had your organs harvested, or you could be trapped on a trip and forced to do puzzles. Well, thank goodness none of those things happened. Now I'm only stuck in some weird god dimension where I have to kill others to survive. I just find it surprising. The Digits of Eden, you don't usually go out of their way to let anyone play in these games. I mean, from what I understand, most of the time they only let their most trusted people play them. Is this game sacred to them or something? In a way it is, though probably not in the way you're thinking. The Digits of Eden claim control over the Digit games, and as such, delegate who has the ability to play them. And they're very picky on who plays them because in the wrong hands someone could effectively destroy them by using these games. Which is why I'm wondering why they took a risk bringing you along. Maybe because you're not a risk at all. Well, I don't know anyone in the Digits of Eden at least. I don't think I do. Alternatively, they might have been trying to slowly grow their following. Tell a desperate soul they have a way to fix all their problems, play the game, and then you're indebted to them. I've seen them do this before. You have? Once, but it was a long time ago. Anyway, my advice, kid, when this is all over, just scram and don't look back. Don't let the Digits of Eden lure you into their ranks. You don't have to tell me twice. Then I'll tell you 4 times. People say that they can resist the lure of power, but it's not that easy. When it's presented right in front of them, it's intoxicating. You'll know when you see it. You seem to have a particular animosity towards the Digits of Eden. Did they wrong you in some way? You could say that, which brings me to my next question. I wanted to ask your father, but seeing as he's no longer here, I'll have to ask you. What's your father's relation to the Digits of Eden? And don't try to deny any of it. I know that he's got at least some ties. I don't have anything to hide, but I might not have the full picture. Anyway, my father was long-time friends with some of the founding members. Kana Umishima and Nigel Edwards, though I think they had a falling out a long time ago. Can you really call them friends if they had a falling out? Dad said they had a complex and complicated relationship. Either way, because of that relationship, he has some sway and some opportunities that even the most senior members of the Digits of Eden don't get. For example, we have access to their libraries. We can stay at a lot of their facilities, things like that. Shit, it sounds like you and your father are in bed with the whole organization. It does sound like that, doesn't it? But make no mistake, we're not members of the organization. My father simply uses them like tools. We get what we want out of them and that's it. That's it? You don't have any connection or strong feelings about them? Oh, I do. Frankly, I find them deplorable and I hate them, especially one member in particular. Cole. But do I need to get into the fine-tooth details about that currently, or did my previous answer satisfy you? Works well enough for me. Assuming you're telling the truth that neither you nor Philip seem to have any allegiance with the Digits of Eden, which is all I care about. Do you have some issue with them? I mean, don't get me wrong, I think they're pretty weird, but I don't know anything about them. Yeah, I got a pretty nasty problem with them. They're a cult that tries to control people with these games, both with promises and with threats. From what I understand, most people here have a connection to them in some way, so I'm wary of most of them. Well, that's interesting. What? I'm just curious how someone like you, who seems to have a pretty open disdain for the Digits of Eden, was allowed to participate. I've got a contact on the inside. Well, I guess it's less of a contact and more of a traitor. A traitor, you say? Let's just say that both of our interests align for now, and that because of them, Maria and I were allowed in. Otherwise, things would probably be pretty tricky. So why don't we leave it at that for now? If things work out in the end, I'll tell you the rest. I wonder if perhaps we're both here for the same reason, but with different targets. We might be. I'm just more worried about people getting in my way. I wouldn't be surprised if someone was put here to make sure that I didn't get him, to make sure I didn't get my way. But that's really all I wanted to talk to you with you about. Oh, finally you're done. I was afraid you were going to kill them with boredom. I actually like talking about this kind of thing. Maria stuck her tongue out and rolled her eyes. No, let's talk about the fun stuff, like gossip and people's types. That's really how you want to spend your time? Oh, what do you want to do? Brood and talk weird cult conspiracies for the next few minutes? That sounds like such a bore. So let's talk about your type, Clyde. What kind of people are you into? Mate, why are you asking me first? Because you're cute. I want to see if I've got a shot with you. She's awfully forward. She might as well be asking you out on a date. Shut up, Richard. I'm not used to being put on the spot like this. Come on, I'm just playing around. You don't got to get all flustered. Unless maybe you like girls to take the lead. Is that what it is? There's nothing wrong with that. Tons of guys I know enjoy it when they get bossed around by girls. Plus, tons of girls like it too. It's not what this is about. You're putting a lot of pressure on me right now. I think you'd probably do well with someone that speaks up for you. You get a pretty mellow vibe when you're not on the hot seat. Am I wrong? I mean, I do like it when I can just listen and don't have to do all the talking. I see. So you're pretty relaxed and a passive guy. You don't feel the need to force the situation and are completely fine with letting the other person dominate the conversation, right? When you put it like that, you make me feel like some kind of wimp. Don't be. Too many people try to force themselves to be funny or cool when they don't need to be. Not that knowing a few jokes or knowing when to just vibe isn't appreciated, but it's all about confidence. If it's confidence, then I'm probably going to be lonely for the rest of my life. Well, the good news for you is that the confidence can be worked on. You can improve confidence. And you've already got good looks. You're kind of funny. If you just put yourself out there, I'm sure you could find someone interested in you. For example, I'm available for a date at the cost of one smile. I turned away as I heard her snicker. She was having way too much fun with us. Ease up on the guy, will you? He's going to be a sweaty, embarrassed mess if you keep this up. Alright. We'll take a break from you, Clyde. We'll move on over to Richard. You keep your feminine charms away from me or I'll be forced to smite you. And by that, I will get paint stuck in your hair and you will suffer. Sheesh, man, you're like the total opposite of Clyde. Rude, gloomy, and hard to look at. I get that a lot. Still, you do have a handsome face. Is it just your mood, aura? I don't know how to describe it. People say I have a resting serial killer face. Those people are pretty rude. Well, I can't say they're wrong. I've scared myself looking in the mirror a few times. Seriously? No. I see you got your own brand of dark humour there. Either way, you gotta have a type, so go on and spill it before I have to analyse you. Suppose if I must. I'm actually a little curious to see what kind of people Richard might be into. Can't really imagine any particular type for him. If I had to pin my type down, I guess it'd be someone that is not afraid to speak their mind, someone who will stick to their convictions, and also has a passion for passion. They know what they want in their life, or at least a direction, and will charge toward it. They won't lament the difficulty. They strive to beat whatever obstacles come their way. That's the kind of person I'm into. Also, if they're redheaded, that'd be pretty nice too. Is that supposed to be related to passion or something? No, I just think redheads are hot. He asked my type and I said it. I guess it was just unexpected. Is anyone redhead here? Have you been eyeing her? Oh my god, really? Really? You're into her? Will you pipe down? I'm not into her. I just think that she's admirable and interesting. You can't be into someone without having a deep conversation with them, or a date. Oh my god, that's so cute. You should totally bring Lilith over here. If you do that, I will tackle you to the ground. Sounds to me like a challenge. Clyde, this is a mistake. Can we go and join Laura and Lilith instead? Why, so you can go ask her out on a date? I will smite you where you stand. Richard likes to act like he's just a broody dude, but he's pretty human too. What do you mean pretty human? I'm as human as anyone else here is. What about you? You're going on and on about types, so you haven't explained yours yet. Yeah, it's only fair that you share your type with us too. Oh, do I? Well, I guess it's only fair. Well, I hate to ruin all the fun you kids are having, but it looks like it's about time for us to go. Alphonse pointed toward the second door that had opened up. I guess that means the first group finished their game. Yeah, so let's not keep them waiting. I don't want to have to deal with whatever tricks Belle's got up her sleeve. Yeah, let's go. As we walked up toward the door, my heart started racing again. I have to do this again and again and again before it's all over. I don't know if I'll be able to handle something so strenuous the second time, and yet here I was again. I steeled myself for whatever was about to come, hoping that it wouldn't be as bad as the previous game. We entered into a large white waiting room, just like I had last time. The screen was also the same as before. No doubt it would show us what game we'd end up playing. How have the games been treating you all? Boring? Exciting? Invigorating? A mix of all three? Cut the cute act and just show us the game already. Oh, someone sounds a little sour. Still upset you lost your dear friend? Is any of this necessary? We came to play a game, not to talk with you. You're so mean. That's like a little banter before the game starts. If you want to jump right into the game, then who am I to stop you? God, I think. The screen began its random selection once again, deciding what game of fate we'd end up playing. Please, please. Whatever happens, we'll manage. Yeah, it'll probably be fine. The screen finally stopped, and I looked up, learning what kind of game we're going to be playing. 4-player dilemma. That's good, right? That means there's a chance we can all live through this. We won't know what kind of game it is. Remember, it could range from 0 to 4 possible survivors, but at least it's possible we could all survive. I just hope the next game is a little more fun than just Sudoku. Be careful what you wish for. As for the game we'll be playing, it's called Supermarket Scavenger Hunt. Ugh, you're doing some late scavenger hunt now? What are the rules? Simple, when you enter the game zone, you'll be locked in and have 20 minutes to escape. If you fail to escape within 20 minutes, you'll be disqualified and eliminated from the game. So death? Essentially. So we're just looking through a supermarket for some key or something and then we can get out. Guess it can't be too hard. If it were just that, then yes, it would be rather easy, which is why I've added a few little exciting rules into the mix. First is that every 5 minutes a monster will be hunting you down for a minute. However, the monster only hunts and attacks people who have touched one of the keys. They're quite dangerous, so be careful if you run into one. Additionally, there are exactly 4 keys, and once you've used one to leave, you cannot re-enter the game or administer any help. That's basically the game. Pretty simple, right? Sounds simple enough on paper, but knowing these games, there's probably some kind of trick involved. So suspicious. You'll never get anywhere if you're questioning everything you know, Clyde. Before we start, I got a question. Ask away. Scavenger hunts are all about finding things. Are you going to give us a list with some hints, or are we just going to be blindly picking up produce? Don't think so little of me, Alphonse. My games are all fair. Of course you'll get a list that at least gives you an idea of where you should start looking. And how are we going to keep track of time? So many questions. Look, I'll give you something to help keep track of time inside once you're playing. Don't get upset just because we're making sure we know how to play the game. Just get into the game room before I punish you. I snickered a little. It was nice seeing Belle flustered for just a moment. As we walked into the game room, we were greeted with what looked like a large and empty supermarket. It looked like one of those supercenters that sells everything in bulk. I can't understand how people can buy this much stuff at once. Would you need like a truck to carry all this to your home? From what I understand, the discounts are pretty worthwhile. I think some places also have really nice hot dog and soda combo. Ugh. Don't diss the combo. Focus up, we don't have time to be distracted. We're probably already on the clock. Look. Alphonse pointed to a table that had a piece of paper on it and 4 metal bracelets. I walked over to it and picked up the piece of paper while the others looked over the bracelets. I need to read the page aloud so the others will hear it. These bracelets will help you on your scavenger hunt. They will light them up and let out a noise when you're holding the correct scavenger hunt item. One of them even functions as a watch, so you'll be able to keep track of time. On the other side of this note are hints for where the keys are. I flipped through the paper and started reading the hints. 1. When I'm red, you start. When I'm white, you slow down. And when I'm green, you stop. Traffic light? Wait, no. That doesn't make sense. It's the opposite. I can fly but have no wings. I can slip but have no feet. You can count on me, but you're always losing track of time. You're always losing track of me. Time? The drink of the underground, reaching deeper and deeper. Sweet nectar for the young and old alike. 4. I'm a great listener and have lots of ears. A man's best friend, but people say my jokes are bad. These are the strangest hints I've ever heard. Well, it's no fun if it's obvious. I think this will be pretty neat. Yeah, life or death scenarios really get my blood pumping, especially when there are weird monsters around. But now let's just get these bracelets on. It'll be important to know who's touched a key item. We each grabbed one of the bracelets and started latching them to our arms. Richards beeped as he grabbed it. He motioned for us all to look at the screen on his bracelet. Looks like this is going to be our timer for the game. Figures they'd make it so that only one of us would be able to keep time. There aren't any clocks, and even 60 seconds could spell the difference between life and death. She's being way too dramatic over things. We're looking for what, 4 things? As long as you don't touch them, we'll be safe. How much time do we have now? Looks like we've got roughly 18 minutes left, which means that the monster will appear in 3 more minutes, right? Right, so let's not waste any more time and get searching. Wait, let's think for a moment. Alphonse took a look around the supermarket for a minute before turning back to us. We need a strategy, a way to ensure that we get through this as safe as possible. We don't need to look for these items right away. For now, we should focus on finding the exit and figuring out how we're going to get the items to the exit. If the items are heavy, hard to carry, or are far away from the exit, it might push us and put us in danger. Come on, it's not like we'll be carrying a sack of potatoes for a mile. We're just moving it across the supermarket. It's better to be safe than sorry. I suggest we first look for the exit and find the items, and finally path out a way to get them there. If we time everything right, we can finish this with no issues. And for now, should we stick together? Since we're not searching for anything, we might as well stay in one group. Yeah, we could work on the scavenger hunt too. Just figure out what we're looking for. We all agreed it was a good idea and started walking through the supermarket. I read the first riddle aloud to see if we could figure it out. When I'm red, you start. When I'm white, you slow down. And when I'm green, you stop. When I hear that, I think of stoplights, but the colours are wrong. Yes. Even if it was a stoplight, I don't think you'd find something like that in a supermarket. Then we should be thinking about answers you'd find in a supermarket. That might help us narrow our search down. Maybe it's a kind of food or drink, maybe a type of cooking tool. Maybe it's like a fruit, like some fruits ripen and change into different colours. That makes sense, so would it be something that starts red and stops ripening at green? Like a tomato or maybe a pepper, those are red and green. Tomatoes and peppers don't turn white though, plus the riddle states we start when it's red. That implies we're doing something with it when it's red, we slow down when it's white, and we stops when it's green. I was just thinking about what you all said. You sound like you got an idea brewing, Clyde. Go on, tell us what you're thinking. I've got an idea for an answer, but I'm not completely certain it's correct. Well, speak your mind. Even if it's wrong, you might give us an idea as to what the right answer is. Right, okay. Here goes nothing. I think the first hint refers to... I don't know. One of those things? Red start, white stop, slow down, and green stop. Oh, watermelon. It's red in the middle, it's white in between the watermelon and the rind, and then it's green on the outside. I think the answer is a watermelon. Can you clarify for us why you think that might be the case? Think about how you eat a watermelon. You usually cut it into slices, and when you eat a slice, you eat the reddish part first. So that'd be the start. Afterwards, you eat the white rind of the watermelon, which would be what makes you slow down, till finally get to the green skin of the watermelon, which you'd stop at. Wait, people don't eat the green part of the watermelon? Are you saying you do? Wait, you can't let it go to waste. It's crunchy and full of nutrients. Regardless, most people don't eat the skin of a watermelon. That logic makes sense to me. Good thinking. Haha. Felt nice to get some compliments here and there. So we need to carry a watermelon to the end. That sounds kind of annoying. I don't mind. Be like an awesome workout. How hard can it be to carry a fucking watermelon? That actually sounds like a good idea. Carrying a bunch of watermelons and then after you're done, you get to eat them. That sounds horrible. Who would want to eat sweat-covered watermelon? I know people who'd probably pay extra. That's disgusting. Agreed. Thankfully, Alphonse was able to steer away from the oddball conversation. Hey, Richard, how much time we got? We're about to hit 15 minutes. Still haven't found the exit yet. This place is like a maze. It's like a real supermarket. Are there any signs pointing toward an exit? Or maybe a checkout, since it's a supermarket. There's a post board that's pointing in the direction over there. We turned a corner and eventually found the checkout line. Of course it was empty, but more importantly, there seemed to be a self-checkout scanner. Further ahead, there were doors that looked like exits. I guess that's our exit then. Maria approached the doors, but was stopped as she walked into some kind of invisible barrier. Ouch, what the heck? She started feeling around for where the barrier was, but it seemed to extend to each wall. Guess there's no leaving until we find one of the keys to get out of here. You probably have to scan one of the items to get access to pass. Checks out. Checks out. Yeah, the logic checks out. It's a pun, you know, checkout lines. I hate puns. It's so serious. Anyway, Clyde, what's the hint for the next item? Let me read it. It's... Before I could read it, my eyes look over towards something shifting in the shadows. I think I saw something. The monster, maybe. Well, it's out hunting now, but we should be safe, shouldn't we? Should be fine, we haven't touched anything. Our bracelet's never pinged or beeped or anything, so we should be good. Right, and it only hunts for about a minute, so we could probably just ignore it. Is that right? Something in the pit of my stomach tells me we should have a reason to worry. Or at least someone should. I looked around one more time to see if I could see a trace of the monster, but I couldn't spot anything in the shadows. And looking at them only made my heart beat faster out of fear. Come on, Clyde, don't worry. Just tell us what's next on the list. Okay. I started reading the second clue aloud. I can fly, but I have no wings. I can slip, but have no feet. You can count on me, but you always lose track of me. All at once, my mind suddenly realized why something felt so off. I thought we were in danger, or rather, why they were in danger. Without thinking, we'd already touched one of the keys, which meant that we were already in danger. The countdown timer. Richard's bracelet. It also functions as a timer for how much time we have left in the game. Time. It flies even though it doesn't have wings. Time slips away. Time can be counted in seconds, minutes, and hours. You can easily lose track of time. When Richard grabbed to the bracelet, the beep wasn't because it was turning on and showing us the time. It was beeping because Richard had touched one of the keys. My eyes turned toward the shadows, and I could see a glimmer of killing intent glowing in some creature's eyes. I saw it leap into the air, and without thinking, I rushed to tackle Richard out of the way, sending us both tumbling to the ground. It's time. The answer is time. Richard's bracelet is the second key. I heard another beep as I looked to see my hand that had rolled over Richard's watch. Oh no. Huh? My bracelet's the key. Before we had a chance to utter another word, the panther had pounced toward us once more, his claws reaching for our throats. I thought that was it, that my sudden realization would amount to nothing. Alphonse rammed his shoulder into the panther before it could land on us, the impact causing it to skid a few feet. Meanwhile, Maria lifted us back onto our feet. Run! Alphonse was squared up against the panther, keeping himself between it and the rest of us. But you can't hope to beat that thing. Do you have shit stuck in your ears or do you have a death wish? Get out of here. I'll hold it off as long as I can. The determination in his eyes showed that he didn't intend to die. Well, it's not hunting him anyway. He glared back at the monster as he kept his feet planted on the ground and raised his fists. Let's go. We've got to get out of here. Without any other arguments, we sprinted out of sight of the panther, ducking into one of the alleyways, while the sound of a struggle echoed behind us. After a few seconds, we managed to hide ourselves away behind a counter. For the moment, it seemed that we'd escaped from it. We took a few seconds to catch our breath before Richard spoke up. So that's the monster then. That's what it looked like. Our monster will be hunting us every 5 minutes. The hell is this game of hide and seek that we're going to have to play? Well, we don't have time to be cowering. We have to keep moving. Especially now that Richard and I are the only ones that will be hunted. You're going to be hunted? I touched your bracelet when we fell on the ground. My bracelet beeped, I'm sure of it. How much time do we have left? The monster only hunts for 1 minute at a time, so it's got to be gone by now, right? Richard looked over his bracelet one more time. We've got about 13.5 minutes. Shit, we're running out of time. Well, couldn't Clyde and I just leave? Leave? You think we should just go? I'm just saying, the panther currently will hunt for both of us, and neither of us exactly expert fighters, or in good physical shape like you and Alphonse are. Hey, you don't know that about me. Well, regardless, isn't it best that Clyde finds a watermelon and leaves with me? But we're a team. Wouldn't we work together better if we all toughed it out to the end? You're right. Going this alone isn't really the best option. Ooh, you scared me there a bit, Richard. Before we go on, we need to find at least 2 items so we can all leave together. Let's try to knock out these last 2 or just search for them. Both Richard and Maria nodded as I looked over the hit list one more time. The drinks of the underground, reaching deeper and deeper, sweet nectar for the young and old alike. I got it. If it's an underground drink, it's probably spring water or like sparkling water. Ugh, disgusting. Who would like sparkling water? Hey, I think it's tasty, but is it the right answer? Probably not. Well, it does reach deeper and deeper. It's not exactly sweet, if you ask me. It can be flavoured. At that point, it's just soda then. Maybe underground might mean something that's illegal. An illegal drink. Then the only thing that comes to mind is alcohol. It's probably like vodka. That comes from potatoes, which are underground. And it's also illegal. Plus, tons of old people like vodka. Again, it's not sweet though, and I don't know of many kids that like vodka. There are some sweet brands, and I like vodka as a kid. What kind of childhood do you have growing up? Actually, I think I'm onto something. Please, I can't keep up with these inane answers. They're not inane. Sparkling water is not a drink any rational human being would enjoy. Calm down, let me think for a second. The drink of the underground, reaching deeper and deeper, sweet nectar for the young and old alike. If I consider some of the points that Maria and Richard brought up, then the answer should be clear. The third item that we should be looking for is root beer. The roots come from underground, and it's not alcoholic, so kids can drink it. What about root beer? Think about it. Root is very much an underground thing. Not only that, root beer is made from root and the bark of sassafras tree. When you think of beer, you think of the alcoholic beer, so in that way it might be considered an underground drink. Bit of a stretch on the second part of the logic, but I suppose it's possible. After all, I doubt we're going to find moonshine here in the supermarket. Anyway, root beer can be alcoholic or non-alcoholic, and it's definitely a drink that's marketed towards children, but it'll also be enjoyed by adults. Oh, heck yeah, that sounds right to me. I suppose you could also use ginger ale, since it sort of follows the same logic, but I just went with the first thing that came to mind. So we got one item left to find. Yeah, let me read out the hint. I'm a great listener and have lots of ears. I'm man's best friend, but people say that my jokes are bad. Man's best friend? It's a corn? Corn? Maybe man's best friend is obviously a dog. Do you have to find a dog or worse? Are they selling dog meat here? It's probably referring to a hot dog, if anything. Oh, right. Ooh, I was seriously about to freak out. So a hot dog it is. Before you dart off to find some container of hot dogs, you should think about the rest of the riddle. Fine. Do hot dogs listen? Of course they don't. I mean, I know they don't. It's just, well, then what could that be referring to? I'm also wondering about the bad jokes. I've got it. Ready? When you think about the possible answers, there's only a few that fit. Narrow it down from there and you can get the right answer. Corn dogs. How about a corn dog? Corn dogs are gross. You're gross. Don't diss corn dogs. Hey! Anyway, just listen. Corn dogs are hot dogs that are enveloped in cornmeal. Why is that important? When you think of cornmeal, obviously you think of corn, more specifically an ear of corn. If you want to get creative, you might be able to think of a corn dog being made of multiple ears of corn. And the jokes? Also corn related. When you tell a bad joke, someone might say that you're being corny, or that you're telling corny jokes. Pretty simple stuff. Yo, that's more than simple, that's some advanced thinking and logic. Well, you know, it's nothing big, really. No, seriously, I wouldn't be able to figure that stuff out. You're super smart, or at least, like, you got a good mind for thinking. I felt my smile wobbling with uneasy pride. Getting this many sincere compliments, it felt so foreign that I almost wanted to push them away, so I wouldn't have to deal with these unnecessary feelings. Thanks. Richard nudged me in the side to get me back into focus, and then looked at his bracelet. So we're all certain of what we're trying to find. A watermelon, root beer, and a corn dog. Yeah, how much time do we have left? About 11 minutes. Okay, we could definitely get all those items and meet back at the exit. For now, we go find Al. You sure it's a good idea? In less than a minute, the panther is going to be hunting us again. Shouldn't we be splitting up so we can run and hide effectively? Isn't there power in numbers? Plus, we don't know where Al is or if he's in danger or hurt. Shouldn't we at least look for him together? I mean, he saved you guys. Don't you feel indebted to him? Not really. I mean, I appreciate him stepping in the way of that attack, but I didn't ask for it. Richard. I'm not saying that to be mean. We can't afford to waste our energy right now. Each of us needs to find a key to get out of here. I already got mine, so I can leave whenever I want, but the rest of you need to get moving if you want to escape. I'll help, but if I'm close to danger, I'm prioritizing my own life over yours. That's fair, isn't it? He's right. Maria sighed as she stood up and surveyed the area. I'm going to look for Al and make sure he's okay. Then I'll try and find a watermelon and root beer. So Clyde, all you need is a corn dog. Got it. Alright. Just make sure that we're on the same team here. We heard a beeping sound as Maria tapped Richard's bracelet with her own before offering a thumbs up. Why'd you do that? Now you're in danger too. Out of the three of us, I'm a pretty dang good runner, and I think I could stand the best chance to outlast that kitty. Or at least for a minute. So I'll be a good distraction while you look for the key items. You make a good point. I know, I'm pretty badass. Well, don't die out there. We'll do our best on our end. What do I get if I survive? What do you want? How about a date? Is now really the time for this? I'm teasing anyway. Gotta go. Good luck and don't get killed. With that final warning, Maria started jogging into the darkness, leaving me and Richard by our lonesome. Alright, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for this episode, but in the next episode I guess we'll finish up this this game. Hopefully we will get through this one alive. Although I guess then we've already had Richard's end. He doesn't really need to survive this one. But I'm getting so blasé with everybody's life already. Anyway, thanks for watching, Bruce, and I'll see you in the next one.